Hey guys, how's it going? Anthony Muthurajah here, back with a new video lesson. Today I wanted to talk about harmony. In fact, in my opinion, the mother of harmony, which is the major scale. Now, almost every musician, beginner, advanced, super advanced, I guess, know the major scale, or at least we know the major scale. So, what I've seen happen a lot with that particular scale and the harmony that stems out of it is that people find ways to make it work using modes, arpeggios and scale patterns and exercises, Hanons and all that stuff. But I feel like with all that dissection happening, we kind of lose the essence and the interest that the major scale can create as far as compositional or improvisational ideas go, right? So I decided to just take us back down that road and have a better look at it so we can try to come up with new ideas and see how sometimes the simpler you think, the simpler you approach it, the better it sounds. So let's jump right to it. All right, so let's take the mother of all major scales, the C major scale. Right? So you have 7 modes based on the major scale. You have the C Ionian, then the second degree is the Dorian, third is Phrygian, then you have Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and then back to the Ionian, right? But now the modes, they kind of help you, but essentially where I find the most color is when I use a scale which doesn't have too strong a relation to the chord. For example, if I have a D minor 7 in the key of C major, I don't like to think that because again the starting point is the root. So what I much rather do is think just the C major scale over that. So now that automatically gives me color. Is it Dorian? Is it Ionian? Like honestly, I just don't give a shit. What I know is the C major scale, and I know that D minor 7 in this context belongs to the C major. So C major scale. So now let's look at the next chord, the E minor 7. Okay, right here now to start with the C major might be a little weird. You hear that? So let's start the C major scale from the B. Now immediately you would jump and say, oh, the Locrian. You could think that way, but I'm just going to think C major starting from a different degree, just to keep things simple in my mind. Okay, now the F major 7. I can do the C major. Or what if I start from the D? So, I don't know if you hear this, but instantly there's a huge difference the minute you start imposing a different mode over a particular chord. Now, for me, what has helped is to simplify that thought process and just think C major scale over any of the diatonic chords in the scale, right? So, now, and before I forget, one thing I really love to do is just to play the chords and sing. Right? Singing helps me internalize melodies and ideas a lot more than actually trying to play it. It's not that you shouldn't play it, you should down the road, but first try to sing it. If you can sing it, perfect. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at a 2-5-1-6. Right? So I'm just going to sing using the C major scale. I'm not thinking modes. Okay, so on the D minor 7, I'm going to start the C major from the tonic. So now what I'm trying to do is, as much as possible, I'm just trying to go up the scale, maybe add another note on top and then come back down the same way. No intervallic movements. Maybe I didn't really succeed. So now I'm going to open it up. I'm going to play the same progression and I'm going to start singing a little more open, freely, but just using the scale. Right? So let's do this. Okay, now bear in mind this is an exercise. This is not the best of music or whatever, but in my mind, to my ear, this sounds so nice and it sounds so consonant, and the melodies, when you spread them out, the intervallic spreads and all that stuff, it starts to really take a lot of color. And this is just over a 2-5-1-6 progression. Right? So now in that process, did I think modes? No, not at all. I just know the major scale. I know the sound of it. I know the changes that I'm playing. So my ears try to make the adjustment. Right? Now that's using the major scale exclusively. But if I were to give you a breakdown of how I would like to use modes, I always take a mode, a minor third, away from the chord. So if I have a C major 7, I would use an E phrygian. I would think away from the root, go to the third. So if I have this, I think over that. If I have an E minor 7, I think the G dominant. If I have a D minor 7, I think F major 7. So that's one little trick I use. I always take a third away from the actual chord or the tonic of whatever you're playing over or trying to write over, and then use that as the basis to create my melodies. Alright, so I hope this helped, and it's a very simple concept and exercise, so I really hope you guys dive into this. And one more thing I just definitely want to point out is, if you're not able to do this with the major scale, just refrain from jumping into all the exotic scales like the altered and diminished, whole half, whole tone, the Messiaen modes. I mean, there's a whole bunch of beautiful scales for sure, but if you're not able to own the major scale in this manner and every other way possible, there's no point. Right? So I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you guys in the shed. Peace.